got three of us back together. We're going to be touching on a few things.
I'll be touching you, all right? Sorry.
Hopefully. I don't know if you want to right now. I'm still coughing, but mainly the news today that Nick Ritchie was put on waivers. So what are your guys' initial thoughts? And then we'll get into like what it actually means for the Maple Leafs going forward.
Based off his play, who could have thought he would be bad?
Based off his play, who would have thought that he could be bad? That sounds like you said the same thing twice, but I like
sounds like I just had a stroke while talking. But I mean, have you seen Nick Ritchie's face? Not to be rude.
Yeah. Not to be rude, but I'm going to be incredibly rude.
No.
It makes it okay.
Yeah, no offense, but I hate you.
I think the waiver thing was more on the side of like next year, right? We can't be paying this fucking guy $2.5 million next year, right? We do have a few guys that we need to resign. I'm sure everyone here probably actually likes the team that we're skating right now. And to skate the team that we're skating right now, we need to resign Liljegren, Sandin, and Campbell. Yeah. So that's also why everyone's like trade Mrazek. Do I think Mrazek's actually a bad backup? Nope. But do I think his $3.8 million is going to be too much to pay next year? Yep.
Yeah. So unless the cap goes up
it's not. There's no way. Not with all the shit that's happening right now. There's no way the cap goes up more than $1 million. I have doubts it even goes up $1 million.
Yeah. Mark, what were your initial thoughts?
Oh, first he was just healthy scratched, and you're like, okay, that could be for any reason. And now he's on waivers. Okay. I think the coach is losing faith pretty fast.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what were your initial thoughts?
Sorry, you go.
I don't know what it fully means. Like, does that mean we can? Like, did they drop him? Like, is he still with us? Are we going to pick him back up?
If he clears waivers, if he clears waivers, which honestly I expect him to clear because $2.5 million is a lot for a team to pick up. Unless you're trying to.
I don't know. Because like there's some GMs still that are still like he's a big body, he can fucking play, right?
Hey, you know what? Brian Burke on the Penguins might go snag
maybe
him.
we can get another first round pick for him. Fucking fleece him again. Can we get Evan Rodriguez back?
Oh fuck!
Oh my god!
30 goal scorer happening. It's
tough because like he's owed. It's not one of those things where like it wasn't a front end deal; it's a back end deal. So I think his cap next year is like 3.3 or something like that. That's not what's on the cap hit. Sorry, that's what he gets paid. So a lot of teams are not going to be down for that. I.e., Arizona, who could play him on a second line and be laughing, but like. If he does go down to the AHL, we can bring him back up at our disposal, basically give him some conditioning, play him on top lines, maybe get his confidence back a little bit.
Is it not a good coin flip? You might as well fucking try it, right?
Yep.
Because if he clears, you save money. Or sorry, if he doesn't clear and he gets picked up, you save a fuck ton of money. And if he does clear, well, now you've got a good fucking player at your disposal to do anything you want with.
Yeah.
Right. And our conversations about who's going to be traded, this and that, is just automatically fixed.
Yeah.
Right, like, and you now have a guy you can bring up and down, right? And then I was like Clifford, but like an opposite way of Clifford.
Yeah, well, let's be honest. Let's be honest. Like, do we see too much of a difference between Clifford and Ritchie based on his play?
Enough if it means we can just do whatever the fuck we want with him.
Right, but I'm saying like if Ritchie does get picked up, like, are any of us going to be upset?
I think it's pretty cool if he did clear and we can just use him at our
that's best case. But no one's going to be too upset if he gets picked up.
Oh God, no.
Yeah,
no, he's pretty heavy. To pick him up would be pretty difficult. To be honest.
All right, so as a noob, does he just have to clear waivers once and then we can just send him up and down?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. I thought he had to keep clearing.
Dude, we should have fucking done it when the World Juniors got canceled. Just slip that news in. Right? Oh, fucking Nick Ritchie's on waivers. Oh no, World Juniors. No one notices 24 hours later.
Right. But so here's the thing is like when people make that take on Twitter and stuff, I'm like, nothing's slipping past GMs. They don't give a flying fuck about the World Juniors.
There's a couple fucking GMs in this league that are fucking cross-eyed, buddy.
Yeah, for sure.
Buddy, they're fucking ripping TikTok, fucking playing Warzone, fucking ripping Wordle. Like, they're on it, man. Like, you can't tell me the GM, like fucking Jim Benning, was fucking paying attention.
No.
That guy thought it was 2016 and fucking
no, but he was only paying
Oliver
attention.
Ekman.
He was only paying attention when it served the Canucks as poorly as possible.
Dude, he could even pay his star players. You think he can pay attention?
He was the guy. He was the king of going out and getting guys like a Nick Ritchie for way more money than they're worth.
Oh yeah, he paid Antoine Roussel $3 million.
Jay Beagle,
spell his name. I can't spell my own name, but that's another story.
It's sounding like it's a pretty win-win situation.
It is. It actually is.
Yeah.
Which is funny. It's funny that this guy is having the worst day ever, right? Just the fucking worse than fucking Isaac. He's still got COVID, and fucking Richie's sitting here going, "Everyone's happy that I'm on waivers." Like, there's 3 dudes in their fucking bedrooms being like, "This is a win-win for us. This guy's career is getting botched." And we're fucking sitting here being like, yo, let's do a fucking podcast.
Yeah. Yeah. I would actually be interested. I haven't really seen anyone on Twitter or anyone who's been like too upset by Nick Ritchie going down. He hasn't made a good appearance on Toronto thus far. He takes way too many penalties. His defensive stats are piss poor. And then he's not putting it like the whole point of Nick Ritchie is like he's a big body that you can put in front of the net and you can bang in goals. You saw it in the preseason when he played with Marners and Matthews. And we were all like, hey, maybe there's something here. Like he knows his role, that he's a big body to go to the front of the net. That's about it. And go to the front of the net. He hasn't done that. He hasn't been able to bury his chances. He's got 1 goal from going to the front of the net. But that's another thing is like, yeah, if he gets dropped down, he can play him on a line in AHL and he can be not only a big body, but one of the more talented players. So he can get his confidence back. And who knows, come the playoff time, he's a damn good guy to have in your extra when the cap doesn't matter anymore. But if you lose him, that $2.5 million that you're losing, that's a hell of a player that you can bring in. Yeah. And you don't have like the Mark Giordano trade. You don't have to go to a third team.
What is it? His buried is 1.25 against the cap. I think that's the only flaw.
Right. But like,
so Schmitty, he will count even in the minors at $1.25 million against the cap. So that's not awesome. So that would be the one drawback, obviously. Like if you guys remember, fucking Wade Redden buried on the New York Rangers, and he was buried like $3.8 million or some shit against the cap. That hurts more than 1.25.
Yeah,
but
if you're not using him in the NHL, anyway,
I didn't even know he went to the Rangers.
But when you're healthy scratch, you are full cap hit against the cap.
Right, exactly.
So once they started healthying him, I'm sure that was the discussion. Was like, there's one thing if we're paying a fourth line to get paid $2.5 million. There's another to pay someone to literally be in the press box. Yeah. Are they even allowed in the press box because of COVID? Does he just sit at home and play Warzone with the boys?
Well, see, you're either saving 1.25 million or you're saving 2.5 million. So
like kind of technically more, because then you can at least put someone else in that spot.
Yeah. And we've seen from the guys who have come up and played roles on that fourth line that like they're Brett Seeney's, the Joey Andersons, and hey, the Josh Hosangs that are down there. Hey, Robertson's going to be back soon. So you have so many options.
Team Canada, Josh Hosang.
Hell yeah. So like, it's just, I think they've just realized their depth there and they're like, hey, if we can free up some cap space and go out and get a top 6 guy, if you could have that's the other thing is like, now we're going to move on to Mikheyev. As Mark, you brought up before the podcast, like what a contract for him is going to look like. And like, if he keeps playing like this, like it's such a small sample size.
Okay. But let's say somewhere in the middle of his shittiest to what he's playing like right now is probably what he actually is.
Right. And that's a Nick Ritchie deal.
I think what he did in his first year is what he is. I think that's more representative.
Yeah, I agree. Closer to that anyways.
Yeah. And he didn't get that big contract because he'd only played for a year and then he fucked up his hand. But I think that first year is going to be what Mikheyev is.
And I also want everyone who's listening to this, because I get pissed off when people talk about sports, don't acknowledge the things they're wrong about. We were all really down on Ilya Mikheyev. And I think like even in a couple games, my mind has changed. And I just want to say that like, I know a lot of Leafs fans were a little bit wrong, and even Din saying that there, like he's closer to the first year. We weren't saying that before, but it is true. And we should have been looking at it objectively and saying, hey, the guy is wrist fucked up.
Like, I thought his wrist was fucked. I thought his wrist was fucked though. Right. Yeah. You watched him shoot and there wasn't a single game where we're not in the wrong for saying we thought he was going to be bad when the fucker couldn't shoot.
Right.
Like,
but at the same time, Austin Matthews has wrist surgery too, and we're like, hey, nothing's going to change. He's going to be better than ever. He's going to have a better shot. And then Mikheyev has the same thing. It's like, oh, this guy's ruined forever.
Yeah, but it's Austin Matthews.
Yeah, exactly. But like realistically, if we're looking at things objectively, it's and the thing about Mikheyev too is like,
you're a Leaf fan. Why are you saying the word objective?
I just know it pisses me off. For anyone listening to like Colin Cowherd out there, the guy changes his opinion every day and doesn't ever acknowledge it.
Hilarious. Yeah.
And I just like I'm definitely open to saying that I was wrong about Mikheyev. I've really grown on me. And even last night when I said that he's going to score a goal tonight, like I'm rooting for the guy now.
I hope you brought that up in the post game, right?
We did. Yeah.
You showed the text.
Yeah.
You showed the receipts. I was hanging with my girlfriend. I was like, wait 1 sec. My phone's about to buzz. And it's going to be Isaac saying told you so.
Yeah, you guys beat me to it. Yeah. But yeah, like I could see him being like a Nick Ritchie $2.5 million over 2 years kind of guy.
Yeah.
Now, do you want to re-sign him for that?
He's like fourth on my list. I would rather Campbell, Liljegren, and Sandin, and even Kasha over Mikheyev.
And then I don't think he fits. And then I don't think he fits.
Yeah. But that's fine.
Yeah. And
got
Kerfoot's
Robertson
playing great, and I don't want to trade Kerfoot anymore. So
yeah.
Unless Kerfoot's a part now of a package that has to do with you getting a top six.
Like
it'd have to be
like the Thomas Hurdles of the world and stuff like that. Yeah.
And I think it was funny when people were putting fucking Kerfoot in trade packages before, and I'm like, I don't think this guy has value, like actual true, like get something real back value, right? Like I don't. It's like when I tried to fucking trade in my GameCube to EB Games 15 years ago, and it said fucking negative $10. I had to pay them $10 to fucking take my GameCube.
Is Kerfoot signed for one more year after this?
Yeah, because it was 3 by 3.5, wasn't it?
Yeah. I think he's proved that he has tons of value. The fact, like,
especially that contract.
Yeah, he's a great winger. He's a decent centerman. And in the playoffs, if a guy goes down, you need decent centermen to come in. We have no depth. A lot of teams in the NHL don't have that type of depth. He can play on the penalty kill. He can win faceoffs. He's good defensively. He's fast. He's not afraid to get in the corners, even though he's a smaller frame. And God, when that guy chooses to shoot, he has a good shot. He just doesn't choose to shoot. And that brings us to Mitch.
Yeah, there we go. That was perfect. I knew once you said that, doesn't choose to shoot. He did have that one good shot that went off the post last night that I fucking jumped up and spilled my girlfriend's wine. I was like, let's go. And it was like, that's not in. I was like, fuck you.
Yeah, the siren went off. Like,
yeah.
Fucking guy has a fucking trigger finger.
I know that Marner was on my poor performers of the night.
No, dude got a fucking $15 million signing bonus. What do you mean poor?
Man. Oh boy. I got the segues, you got the puns, I guess. That's the rule. And Mark's got the dissatisfied look at both of us when we do them. So yeah, he was on my poor performance just because like you can't be always looking for Matthews. And Din, you brought up this, like, should he even be on that Matthews line? And I would just question what you have visualized of where he would go instead, because
I don't have anywhere. Okay. I know you're not. That's the thing, right? It doesn't make actual sense, right? But and remember the Edmonton fucking guy who had the open net and passed it. Marner would have done that. Marner would have done that if Matthews was sitting there. Marner would have done that 100%. He would have done that.
He did that last game. He had like a really good shooting chance, but then he's looking around and
everyone
like,
knows.
I will shoot.
Everyone knows.
And then it was a cute, easy save.
It would be interesting if someone, one of our listeners is bored or one of us is bored, and we want to look up like how many goals Marner has when he plays with Tavares versus when he plays with Matthews. And see how big that discrepancy is, because it's quite obvious, like with Tavares, he's not looking for him as much because Tavares is also a playmaker, right? So it would be interesting just to see.
So is Matthews. When we notice that now, right? When he didn't play with Marner, you notice that.
Yeah.
Right? Or he made plays happen. If that's, like
Matthews is a playmaker, but there's a couple then I'll let you get what you're going to say. But there's a couple plays last night. There's one, I don't know if you guys noticed. Muzzin was behind him. It was a 3-on-2, but Muzzin was directly behind him, had tons of space, and Matthews did that quick, like, so the defender's right in front of him, and he just like quick just snapshot. that's one of those plays where like I love Matthew's shot, man, but like a guy with space, I don't care who it is on the ice, you give a guy with space the puck there. And that's one of those things where he is a playmaker, but he always is going to be looking for that shot, even if it's not the absolute prime shot. And you see it on the power play.
Okay. I'm okay with that. I think with him, I'm okay with that because he's not going to pass to Matt. He's not going to pass to Marner because he knows Marner's not going to fucking shoot.
Right.
Or he's going to pass it back. And it's so fucking like, this isn't bias, by the way. Marner will not shoot when Matthews is on the same line. He will not shoot. And everyone fucking knows it, right? Everyone knows it, right? So what are we doing here, right? Like, don't get me wrong. Marner and Matthews do play great together. They make a lot of stuff happen, but it's not an exponential growth putting their names beside each other. It's like addition, right? They don't, the Patrice Bergeron, Marchand, and Pasternak make each other better, right? They fit perfectly. Marner and Matthews, we give them a lot of room because of course they still play pretty good together because they're fucking amazing, right? They're incredible players, but they don't build each other up the same way that two players that good should. Marner's objectively probably a top 15 player in the league, and Matthews probably number 2. And Marner is a playmaker. It should be Nicholas Backstrom and Ovechkin, best example, right? Best example. Those two together, it's magic, right? They do things together that you would never see because individually they can do things that you would never see. So of course, when they're together, they should do things you've never seen, and we have seen that at times. But Marner needs to shoot because you're fucking Matthews up because he's getting double team all the time. They're waiting for him.
So my I guess counter to Ovechkin and Backstrom is when they started being magical on the ice was when they were both late 20s, early 30s. Like that was when they ended up winning the cup. So it's like you still got guys who are 23, 24 who like haven't.
I'd still argue that Matthews and Marner are better than Backstrom and Ovechkin in what they do.
Yeah,
right?
no,
they are.
Absolutely.
More skill, right? Maybe era-wise, 10 years ago, maybe it was more similar, but technically, skill-wise, on the ice, they are better players.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right.
Mark, what were you gonna say?
Well, I was gonna say, like, it's not maybe like should Marner be playing with Matthews? It's almost that has Nylander earned to be on the first line? Like, I feel like
I don't think he needs him.
No,
I think if it
do you
ain't
think they would almost put up more points?
I don't know, because that's the answer, right? What combination will get you a total amount of more goals?
Yeah,
right? That's the answer.
And right? I think how we have it now will do that just because of.
I think you're right.
Yeah, I think Matthews needs the puck on his stick more, and I think Nylander is the play driver on that. He needs the puck on his stick more. So both of them together kind of takes away from the other person having the puck on their stick.
Bunting isn't gonna figure something out to like meld that to get like weld that merge that together. He's not gonna glue it like Hyman did, right? I think Bunting does other things that Hyman doesn't do, but those aren't like play driving skills. I think he still can, don't get me wrong, but like first line, I think Hyman made more magic. Like he fit more, it almost felt like, right?
Then
he like a Tetris block.
Or
no,
Bunting.
Like Bunting feels more like, Hyman felt more of like fitting perfectly together with them than Bunting does, but also I think Hyman feels like he fit better on that line than Marner did.
Yeah, right? I think objectively just Hyman is a little bit of a better player. So like better players are going to have that. But at the same time, I think whoever was playing with Hyman knew based on years and years of like experience that guy was going to be the first in, that guy was going to win all of his puck battles. Whereas Bunting, this is his first 40 games in the NHL, right? And he's not as big of a body, but he's still going to win puck battles and get in there. It's just like Hyman was like a known commodity with lines that like, okay, we can settle back. We can be the second, third man in consistently and get the puck because Hyman's going to win us the puck. And with Bunting, it's one of those things where like Bunting will win puck battles, but he's not quite to the level of like a 90% rate like Hyman would. So other guys on the lines are forced to do things that are a little bit more out of their comfort zone, which I don't mind because it makes you a more complete player anyways.
Would you agree that we're just frustrated because we know it can be better?
Yeah, but I'm
Marner could
not.
be better.
Are you frustrated? I'm honestly, I just see it as like, and we were talking about this on last night's post game.
Matthews fucking lit it up without Marner.
Right, but my thing is like Marner before he got hurt, and this is a conversation where like he needs to be that Marner the 10 games before he got hurt all the time. That's what he gets paid for.
All the time.
Right, but I just know that there's going to be a switch where he gets there, and I just think that unless he gets hurt again, that can last longer and longer. So I'm
frustrated because we're not stupid. Like, we're not stupid, and I know we're not coaches, so we don't fucking know that much. But you can't tell me that Keefe hasn't said, Mitch, you need to shoot more, because they keep knowing you're going to pass and they keep fucking double teaming Matthews. That conversation has had to happen, right?
Yeah.
Right. And what is the response? No.
He did early in the season, though. He was shooting more.
Yeah. And like, fuck. Yeah, I get it. It hasn't really worked. but maybe because I'm just such a Matthews stan. Like, I think he's obviously making Matthews better. It's fucking Mitch Marner. But I think he could do better. It's easy for me to sit behind a computer and say that. But I watch him get double teamed, and I'm like, this wasn't happening when Marner wasn't here. Why is when our fucking $11 million winger coming back that is it's closing off the ice for Austin? How does that make sense? Right? Like,
that makes me think about when Isaac said, would we be upset or like frustrated if William Nylander and Mitch Marner's contracts were reversed?
God, no. No, dude, Marner could make $1 million less and I would be okay. Actually, no, it was more how he handled this.
No, but Dan, the question is, if Nylander was making what Marner makes,
and Marner was making what Nylander was making,
would we hate Neil, or because none of us hate Marner? Sorry, would we be as like really turned off by that contract?
I would probably be more negative on Nylander, but not as negative as I am on Marner, and I'd be totally good with Marner.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think that would leave a lot less space in it would give me a lot more space in my head to not be sad all the time.
Yeah. Well, here's the other thing to consider, and this is something where, like, even though it's not reality, it's a way of looking at it. Is like you could look at Marner and Nylander as being $9 million players, and that's their contracts evened out.
Yeah. Okay. Right? Well, guess what? We can trade Marner at $9 million pretty well, but we can't at 10.95. So. Yeah,
but I don't want to trade Marner.
I don't either. I never really wanted to trade Marner, but I don't know. I just get it's actually, you know what, more if anything is the power play. When you watch that and your $11 million player comes back and then your power play goes to shit, that doesn't make sense.
Well, that's what's frustrating with me on that power play, and this is something I would wish they would change, is they have Nylander playing the role that Tavares played last year in the top of the box. And when you're playing in the top of the box, the only time you're getting the puck is when the penalty killing team gets out of position, or you need to go win a puck battle. Those are the only two times. No. And that is not, Nylander should have the puck on his stick.
Yeah.
I would almost rather have two power play lines, which are very good, and put Marner on a second power play unit and put Nylander out at Marner's spot. And then in that top of the zone, you put a guy with like Kasha, who just like can win puck battles, and if he gets a puck on his stick, he can shoot, and he's a big body that can clog up that area. I don't really like having Nylander never getting the puck on a power play. It just doesn't make sense to me. It was always confusing why Tavares was there too, because like at least put him in front of the net. The guy's amazing at tip shots. He has a bigger body.
I don't think it's demoting Marner by putting him on the second power play. That second power play scores like just as much as the first.
Yeah, last two games they've gotten two.
I honestly think like it's maybe giving him more opportunity, right?
I saw a tweet.
He's like Marner's what, the fourth cook in the kitchen on that power play, fifth, right?
Well, the thing is right now, because of the spot he's in, he gets the puck second as much.
Yeah.
Right, but the spot he's in, because he doesn't shoot
in his head, what player is he on that power play?
I think Marner has so much faith in himself that he probably views himself as like the guy who should have the puck the most, and that's over Matthews. He probably views himself as like, I need the puck so I can give it to a guy like Matthews to score. I don't think he views himself as like anything less than that number one puck moving guy.
Shouldn't.
The thing is, like, the fact, like, if everyone knows you're a passer, and everyone, like, if anything, that gives you more opportunity to be a shooter, does it not?
Yeah. Well, you even see it when he has the puck on that side of the boards. The shooting lanes are pretty wide open, and people are giving him lots of space because they know he's going to offload it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is why I just would rather Nylander there, because the guy objectively does have a better shot. He can still puck move and he's got dangles. And then you can put Marner on that second unit and be like, hey man, you're definitely the top guy here.
Yeah.
You don't even have to look for anybody.
Yeah, no.
You know,
even if you're playing bad, you still are.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I saw this tweet and it was Marner almost gets his first power play goal in 98 games.
2 years. 2 years. In 2 years.
So yeah, please put him on the second. I think he needs it.
Yeah. And there's another tweet I saw where it's like Nylander's been demoted, Tavares has been demoted, Riley's been demoted.
Yeah.
Everyone except for Marner has been demoted, but he has had the least success on the power play.
Yeah. Yeah. I get he's a passer, but once again, if you're paying an $11 million player, he should at least get 25, 30 goals. 10 of those have to come on the power play.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you're not going to get 30 goals unless you get, he hasn't gotten one in 2 years.
Yeah.
If you don't get one fucking goal on the power play a year, you are not scoring 30 goals.
Yeah.
Right. You don't have to be a fucking McDavid power play merchant. Don't get me wrong, but like, you're not scoring 30 goals, even strength.
Yeah. I think we're all pretty much like in agreement, but these are things that like you got to wonder what's happening behind the scenes, and if the Marner, the whole thing of him in the offseason of saying like that he
didn't want to move.
Yeah, that he didn't want to move and that he like definitely wanted to be on Matthews' line or else kind of thing. You have to wonder if that resonates with conversations he does have. And if he's because you don't know a guy's character, and you don't know if he's going to be one of those guys like, no, like I'm the best passer in the league. Why would I do something that I'm not good at? And like, you know, it's also one of those things where it's a safer bet. So let's say Marner was taking 10 shots, and because he's not objectively the best shooter, he wasn't putting much in, and it was like stopping play because the goalie had it. Like, that's the kind of thing where it's like, if he's comfortable doing one thing that has worked relatively well, he still gets assists on the power play. It's like, why would I take the risk of being someone that I'm not?
Now here's a good question. So objectively, Marner might be top 5 passer in the league. Matthews is probably the best shooter, but we'll just say top 5 shooter in the league just for the sake of saying it. What if the roles were reversed and we saw Matthews passing it all the time to Marner? How would we be feeling?
Not good.
Yeah,
not good.
Because it's terrible. Not your skill set.
Fucking terrible.
Yeah,
right.
It would be like
terrible.
It would be like if Bunting was the line driver on that first line,
yeah,
and he was like, "I want the puck on my stick all the time."
Oh,
you know, it's like if Justin Hall was like, "No, I'm gonna pinch."
Or
actually, wait, he does do that.
Yeah, it's fucking. It's
but yeah, I think it's still so funny how we nitpick these like these things on the Leafs, which are like how many games we've
no. So I actually retract that. I'm mad that he plays on Matthews' legit even strength line. I'm not. We're winning. I'm not one of those people that are like, he's not even at a point per game. We're winning. I don't fucking care. But that power play, if it doesn't work, we are not going to win games.
Yeah.
Right.
But it just needs to be more consistent.
Can decide games.
Yeah.
It is what decides games.
Because before he got injured, our power play in the month of November, granted we won like every single game, but like our power play was top 3 in the league.
But but it's the chicken before the egg. Do you think we were winning, and then that meant we were good on the power play, or we were good on the power play, so of course we're winning?
It just needs to be a more consistent thing, because that's what's so frustrating. It's like we show that we can do it, and then we don't. You know what's more frustrating? Someone who just can't do it. No, because you're just like, all right, well, we suck on the power play because we just don't have the good players. Yeah, exactly. We're just like, whatever now. Like, we gave him a shot. It was kind of disheartening at first when he really wasn't doing much. And we were like, we signed this guy for more than Kasha and Kampf, who we like way better than him. And Bunting. Oh, man, it sucks.
Combined.
Yeah. So it's just one of those things where you just have to temper your expectations. But when it comes to the power play, we have... on paper, that number 1 power play unit is the best in the league, in my opinion. I don't think,
which is why you can't be like, well, it'll eventually. We know we can't say, oh, it'll eventually click. And now we saw it. We saw Marner not on it, and it clicked. And I don't think that was luck, because these players are so good that it's not a luck thing.
Yeah.
Right. If Matthews scores 60 goals, we don't go, it was luck. Or if let's say he scored 75 in a year, we don't go, oh, he had a lucky year. Right.
So here's the other thing. And this comes down to, once again, as a coach, probably the toughest part is managing character within the room. Is like, let's say you demote Marner. Easy for us to say, hey man, you're absolutely amazing, making $11 million, but you're going to go on our second power play unit. Name one other team which has done that. Now, let's say the power play, but it was good. The power play has more success. Okay. It's shown that it can have more success with Marner not on it. How do you tell a player like Mitch Marner, hey, you're never going back on that first power play unit because it is doing better without you? And that is where it comes down to. You have to kind of, as a coach, I understand the hesitation to do that, because you are dealing with egos in a room, and you're also dealing with other guys. Matthews probably loves Marner being there because he gets the puck all the goddamn time. Yeah. Right. So it's like, hey, your best friend, your line mate, this top 5 passer in the league, we're going to put him on the second power play unit. Even if it has more success, you're dealing with people in the room, which can resonate to 5-on-5 play, can resonate to issues within the locker room. And we want to say like, oh, there shouldn't be, you're getting paid $11 million, do whatever the fuck the coach says. But it doesn't work like that, unfortunately, especially with younger players.
Now, I think Matthews on like an even strength line probably has that ego of pass me the puck. You would think it maybe, I still think it's probably not as much as it probably should be, but when you're looking at William Nylander, Mitch Marner, John Tavares, and Morgan Riley, are you as much thinking like, you fuckers better give me the puck, when you've got 3 other 30, 40 goal scorers and a 20 goal scorer on defense? Like, I'm sure he's like, give me the puck the most often. Yeah. And 2, you do know Mitch was watching the games that he was injured, right? You know, he was watching them and saw that power play working, right? He sees the stats that come on the fucking screen. He sees everything, right?
Yeah, but he's
aware. He's aware. He has to be.
Yeah, I would say that that he may be aware, but you got to also remember who people are surrounded by, and they're, especially people in Canada, glorified hockey players are surrounded by yes men who are going to be telling you you're the best their entire lives. His dad is, I mean, not every dad. Some dads are way tougher than they need to be, but a lot of parents are going to always be the number one fan of their kid, right? So like, this guy's been being told if he got demoted, most people around him would be like, what the actual fuck is going on? And that's going to lead to issues within the locker room. And that's just like where I don't think we give enough credit to what coaches need to do behind the scenes to keep everyone on the same page. And it's something that we just think of like, oh, it's having more success this way, but how is it going to affect the overall cohesion of a group?
Well, then those guys haven't bought in, and that's going to be a problem anyways.
And I think on every single NHL team, doesn't matter if you're Tampa Bay Lightning, doesn't matter if you're the Chicago Blackhawks, when they were going, well, they definitely didn't have fucking group cohesion. They still won. So that kind of ruins the point there. But like the LA Kings, like there are going to be guys who aren't going to completely buy in. There are going to be guys who are upset because the better team you have, the less you're going to play if you're a decent player and you're not a good player.
Your second best player needs to buy in.
Right. And that's one of those things where like that these are things that fans like. It would be nice to know the things that go on behind the scenes in these conversations, to know how like invested Mitch is. Cause I know me as a person, when I played hockey, I was like, if someone was like, this is your role, I'd be like, okay, fucking awesome. I loved having a role.
Yeah.
But I know some people, probably because I was never the best player on the team. But like, if you're the best player your entire life, do you have that same personality trait of just being okay with being told what to do when constantly you've been able to do what the fuck you've wanted to do, not only in hockey, in everyday life?
I would just hope that your ego isn't checked, or your ego gets checked when you play with John Tavares, William Nylander, and fucking Austin Matthews.
I don't know if Tavares is ever going to check someone's ego, man.
No, but no. I mean, like if you're Mitch Marner and you're playing with John Tavares, you're not like, fuck that guy, I'm better than him. Like, pass me the fucking puck.
Right? Yeah. or get into a position so I can pass you the puck with a wide open net.
Well, that's the thing.
Oh,
but yeah, that's it. Just it is one of those things.
See him whining. If he was like, "All right, you're on number 2," he'd probably be like, "Okay," and then right behind his back, oh my god!
Well, it's Isaac. It's the same way we used to train clients when they were doing something so fucking bad and you couldn't fix it, and you had to lie to them, being like, "Well, okay, so that was good, but we're actually going to do something a little bit different. I think it's actually going to work better for you, right?" You fucking
and never say the word regression. You have to frame it in a way that they think that they're just doing something different.
Exactly.
So, hey, Mitch, do you want the puck all the time on the second power play unit?
We think you'd score more here.
Great.
Do you want more money in your next contract? Yes, I do. Please, sir, could I have some more $15 million bonuses?
That is going to be a fucking interesting contract negotiation. Holy.
If you right now off season comes, what does he get?
I think he would be smart to do a long-term deal for the exact same he's making now, knowing the cap is going to go up.
Yeah, I think that'd be it.
I think that would be something that you could justify because you know the cap's going to go up and you sign him for a 7-year deal at that amount. I just don't think that agency's going to ever take something like that because you know that guy in 4 years can make $14 million a year.
No.
You know?
Yeah, I know. I was just saying like where you it was more
that would make the sense for me. That would make sense for me. I would be happy with that for 7 years to have Mitch at what he is at now because I know that will be worth $14 million in 4 years.
So AKA what we thought during when we signed the contract.
Yeah, exactly. Which is
why I always take a breathe out about Mitch Marner because this year he was the cap was supposed to be $6 or $7 million more, and then I don't care.
Exactly. And man, could you just think of what we could have done more? Like, think of how good this team is right now, and think of what else we could have done to make them that much better if we had that.
Well, it's because all we need is one defenseman and like a top 6 forward, and that team is we're the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Yeah, Taylor Hall could be on our team.
Yep. We could have Taylor Hall and another $6 million defenseman instead of Hall.
Yep.
That would be your team. You could have your Giordano right at the start of the year.
Oh man,
He's coming.
He's coming.
That's coming, baby.
That's
Geo
gonna be
train.
Someday on a thumbnail. It's gonna be our Giordano's coming, just like Mikheyev's gonna score the game winner last night. 5 minutes before it happens. So, yeah,
this guy knows.
Anything else you guys wanted to talk about, or that you'd heard in news, anything like that?
No. Riley Nash got picked up by the fucking Yotes.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. Ritchie goes there too. Yeah. And the Marlies won last night 6-4. They're on, I think, a 3-game winning streak. They
lost once to the Belleville Sens, which sucked. It was
fucking Sens.
I think
who do you think would win?
Up a bunch of guys.
The Belleville Sens or the Ottawa Sens?
Full COVID protocol Sens would lose. Well, I guess they were the Belleville Center.
Wait, would Matt Murray play a net on both teams? Would he just skate across to the other end, depending on if the puck's in the zone?
He'd probably play better. I love when people are like, it's such a feel-good story that he's back in the NHL. I'm like, he makes fucking $5 million a year and he won a cup. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, what a feel-good story that Mrazek's back from injury, I guess, then.
Fucking feel-good story that I recovered from COVID.
Yeah. Also, for everyone who listened to our post game, I was totally wrong. I heard on the broadcast, and I thought we had our Western road trip, and I heard on the broadcast that they're going southwest, and I didn't realize that southwest just meant southwest, not completely southwest. So we actually play Colorado, Vegas, and
Seattle,
Coyotes, and then St. Louis. Yeah, so that's our road trip.
Tuesday, Wednesday, it's 10 p.m.
Yeah. And then the Islanders game has been switched, so we're going to be on the road there. So lots of road games coming up, which will be, you know what? If anything, good.
Get them
over with, because especially in those stadiums, we're going to have more Leafs fans, or at least around 50% anyways, especially in Arizona. Like when they're skating on the local ice rink because they can't afford to play in the regular
when those games open back up, because a lot of games have been refunded and stuff, you might even find that we have more Leafs fans than suits there when things open back up.
Yeah, why do you say that?
Just because they refunded they gave people options for a lot of the season tickets, even the future months.
Okay.
To get refunds. Yeah. The person who I get tickets from, I got insider shit.
Yeah.
The insider.
So yeah, I was just because like no one's gonna have any fucking money because everything's closed down anyway. So it's like, how the fuck are people gonna be?
Yeah, get $500 a week. I'm good.
It will be so nice this playoffs to see people back in the streets. Yeah, that is always, and unfortunately,
nothing.
I live out in BC now. I hope one of you guys goes down there sometimes and gives a little stream 100%. That we can add to this. But that will be like so cool to see people, because that's where the real fans are. The real fans are in the nosebleeds and out there. And it always pisses me off seeing someone who's right behind the net and it's like a goal and like the person's texting on their phone. And I'm just like, why are you? Yeah,
I'd be 45 Budweisers deep, licking the glass.
Just no, you'd be on your phone DMing Austin Matthews.
Please text me.
Nice goal.
Me DMing DJs at festivals saying, "Can you play this song while they're behind the deck?" Hey Keizo, can you play this song?
Din, if you saw Austin Matthews on the street, what would you honestly do?
Yeah, I'm pretty curious how you'd react.
I'm past trying to look cool. There's no way. I think if it was like, I bet you if it was Nylander, I'd probably try and play it off cool. Like, wait, are you Nylander? You'd be like, are you Willie? And you'd be like, and I'd be like, can I get a pic with you, bro? And then do that.
What about Matthews though?
Matthews, I just fucking ogle. Just like, right? I'd just be like,
get on your hands and knees in front of him.
Start barking.
Just my knees. Just my knees.
That'd be a way to give him attention.
That's the pod.
I just want to give him a hug.
Hey Nylander, is that you? Oh, it is. Oh, sorry, I wasn't quite sure. We have a podcast that we post 3 times a week about the Leafs and talk about you every single time, but I just wasn't sure if that long blonde Swedish hair was yours.
Fuck, we do pre-games are only 8 minutes. Can you go on one? You can use your iPhone. I know that the quality is probably not good. If you want to get some of the other players on too,
dude, we know what Kristen Rubens looks like, and you're at the audacity to say, "Hey, man, are you William Nylander?"
Yeah, but would he even remember that he's William Nylander?
Yeah, that's true.
I am God.
Who do you think has the bigger selection of vintage tees in their closet? William Nylander or Austin Matthews?
Nylander, because he's got Michael Nylander's. He's got his daddy's tees.
Oh no, I'm talking vintage tees like with like Alaya on it and like 50 Cent and like Lakers 1990.
Austin Matthews. Yeah, easy.
Austin Matthews, hands down, no problem.
Do you think Austin Matthews have a graphic tee of himself?
I have one of him.
Do you?
Yeah.
Nice.
You gotta wear it next pod.
Yeah.
Dude, I have I got a Leafs wallet for fucking Christmas. I'm a psychopath.
Nice. Do you just like pay way more than people need or expect?
Yeah, I pretend I'm Austin Matthews when I have it. Actually, when I get drunk at a bar, I'm pretty sure I make as much as Austin Matthews because I just sling $100 bills around. Then you're unemployed.
That's the truth.
Then you're unemployed.
That's
you can't afford
truth.
this.
Been there.
Yes, I can.
All right, so that's it for today's podcast. We were meant to be 10 minutes. It turned into 30 because we love this team so much. They're winning the cup. And if anyone like William Nylander wants to come on this podcast, that'd be sick.
You know you're listening.
We know you're listening. We know all the boys.
Imagine there's someone who actually listens and they just don't tell us.
Like, it better not be Marner because they're gonna hate you.
So what's he gonna do? DM me? I won't answer.
He'll send Nick Ritchie after you.
Ooh, fucking Nick Ritchie can't even send Nick Ritchie after himself. Fucking Jesus Christ.
All right, well, we'll see what happens with Nick Ritchie. Either way, for the people who don't understand how everything works, he's gonna either be in the AHL with the Leafs or he's gonna be signed by another team. And either way, we're golden with it. So that's it for us
Yep.
today, and we will
Peace,
catch
love, and
you
hockey.
on the next pregame for the Colorado.